get you in close guard. Okay. So what I'm wanting to see from JoJo, let's turn this way so she can get okay. What I'm wanting to see from JoJo on this test is his understanding of how guards relate to one another. So as JoJo stands up right here, we have a few options. I can take ankle sleeve right here and immediately, like I'm already in open guard, right? So now I can start to set up a de la riva, right? My de la riva guard can transition from here. I can take another sleeve and I can suddenly be right here in the spider guard. So that's a valid transition. If I'm in de la riva and he pushes my knee down, right? I can pop around and I can end up in my single X, right? I can do that out of order as well. Come back to close guard, okay? Doesn't necessarily have to be that order. I can start in close guard and start to set up a spider guard. And as he stands, right, I can go the other way through all these transitions, right? I can do them in different orders. What I also want to see from him is an understanding of some basic attacks and sweeps from each position. So some of the things that we reviewed the other day, let's start in de la riva for starters, okay? So some of the things we reviewed from de la riva, right, we had some attack options, right? So we had everything I think we did based off of this sleeve grip here. We have a basic sweep here that we take the guy completely over with, okay? If the guy posts back up quickly, like he catches his hand, and he bounces up, we can take the guy that way, right? We can also, back, if I bend it here, I pull him down, he lands, but he doesn't lift himself back up, so I don't have the momentum to take him backwards. So now I can go foot, and I can hike to attack the triangle or maybe an arm bar depending on how he turns back into me, okay? So that would cover him for de la riva. So let's look at maybe single X real fast, okay? So the next one that we practiced was single X. So I moved through to here. So the first sweep we have in single X, the most basic one is I bounce this to here and sweep him to the outside. That's basic. Let's stay on the ground. Once I have him on the mat, one of the attacks that we can pull is just a regular straight ankle lock that JoJo should know how to pull off. Okay? Let's come back up. We can also use single X just like we would any tripod sweep. Okay? It's just slightly different. Okay, come back up. I can also, if JoJo is turning away from me, right? I showed him how to flash a heel hook. Try to stay up for me, buddy. Which is illegal in the kids division, but it's good for him to understand how they work. And then also another illegal move, if he continues to turn, right, we have a calf slicer here that I can sit up into to get a tap, okay? Let's look at spider next, okay? So spider, and I forgot to mention lasso guard earlier, which is just here, right? So it comes right off of spider, and you can set it up different ways, okay? But from spider guard, if he stays kneeling, right, we practice controlling the dude's posture, right, and then we can hit sweeps, right? Come back. I can set up an attack, or there's simple attacks that I can set up with spider, where I can move to just a collar and a spider hook and set up triangles or arm bars, right? Off of the sweep that I just did, right, let me take you over there. Boom. I can set up mounted triangles or mounted arm bars, right? There's different ways to go about that. Come back to, let's go standing on spider, right? A sweep from standing on spider, right? I can sit here, again, controlling his posture, kick through, and set up the omoplata, right? Utilizing it as a sweep or a submission if I want to finish it, okay? So that's both a sweep and an attack. So let's look at lasso, right? So lasso, we're coming around here. An important thing that I really want JoJo to use is that he's not just pulling the sleeve, but he needs to tuck his elbow to his hip, and then he needs to turn his knee outward after hooking my ribs with this active hook in the back. Otherwise, he'll be able to just snatch his hand free of this. Okay, so now that I have him nice and tight in this lasso guard, I can be lasso spider, I can move to his hip, I can move to his thigh. There's a number of things I can do, but there's plenty of sweeps for me here. So one, I can hook the guy's pants under the knee while he's standing and take the guy right over. Not an issue. Okay, and you can do that to somebody much heavier than you. It looks like I'm being really strong there, but I'm not. It's all a momentum. It's all a leverage deal. Okay. So another thing from lasso, if the guy kneels, right? Pretty much the same thing. I'm moving my shin across him. I can hook underneath his leg here, pull myself underneath, and I use my shin to push him up. Okay. I have to be careful. Let's go back down. I have to be careful when I come up that I don't disqualify myself in some divisions by doing an illegal bicep slicer, because this right here could be a submission. It's not in very deep the way I had it there, but there's a submission right there. And if he wanted to show that from that position, he could use that one, right? Other options that he has, right? It's pretty much the same, but let's say I'm here and JoJo starts to shoot the knee across, right? He pushes it past, right? Then I can grab pants and take him over the top here as he presses into me. And that's just a timing deal using his momentum rather than me sliding up and initiating the movement, carrying him on my shin. Back to Lasso again. So from Lasso, some of the attacks that we reviewed, there's a basic setup for a triangle here where I have Lasso Spider and I can grab a collar and just kick my leg straight into the triangle. And that's easy peasy lemon squeezy if he wants to use that one. Other ones that are a little more complex, I can invert underneath the person to set up the triangle arm bar, or let's go back. Depending on how the top person reacts to my inverting, sometimes he'll kind of move his body off to the side a bit, right? And then I'll have to turn it. Whoops. Not quite. I can turn it to an omoplata sometimes. Okay? Let's see, what else was there? Answers to common problems. Okay, so this is where it gets difficult, right? All that, JoJo, I'm pretty sure, let's stand up, JoJo. All of those things JoJo pretty much knew or had been shown before. Some of these things that we have here might be missing, right? So let's look at a common problem from De La Riva, okay? So De La Riva, the most common problem is the person entering headquarters. So as he goes to enter his headquarters, right, I have to do something about it. So as he does that, I'm going to react by taking a collar. I'm going to post my foot to the mat, and this hook that he's trying to sit on, I'll push out a little bit extra, and now I'm going to bridge and extend this hook and pull him up. He's not going to fall over that easy. Okay, so let's start back in De La Riva. Okay. So I want to see you push the knee and go through the steps, right? He goes to stuff that, right? As that happens, I extend, right? He posts. Now this gives me a lot of space, right? He's so far away from me now, I have multiple options. I can put my foot to his hip. I can start setting up guards here. I can move all the way around and enter single X. That's another clean transition that he could use if he wanted to, right? And now it's like, hit the single X sweep right off of that, right? I could also have left the foot on the hip instead of tripod sweeps. I can also start to move this up to my shoulder, right? And start working on my single X or my single leg game, right? That's why some people call it single leg X instead of just single X, right? So there's an answer to one of the common problems from that position. So let's look at a common problem from spider guard. Okay, so for spider guard, one of the common issues is the guy favors the side of the extended leg and starts to clear a hook, right? So as that's happening, he has to do the same thing on the other side because my reaction will be to straighten this hook. We're going to do it to the other side. I'll put my knee in and break. Now I can do a number of things. I can go foot to hip, but a common one is transitioning straight to lasso. This is my dummy side, so it didn't look very pretty, but that's a common transition. If somebody breaks a spider hook and starts moving to the second one to break it, I pop his grip and then lasso in to give him a different problem. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? We've done single X. Oh, problem from single X. Let's go single X. So, common problem from single X. He's going to drive this knee down. He's going to pull up on my head, and it stops me from being able to extend him and use any leverage I have. It takes my leverage away. So this hand right here, if you want to walk around so you can see, this hand here is going to dip underneath, right? I'm going to start pulling this up to my shoulder. Once it's up to my shoulder, it's very important that I hook or cup his kneecap and pull it open this way, right? Otherwise, he can continue to drive pressure into me. Now, I don't feel very limited, right? I can extend my legs with no problem now. So from here, right, we looked at this just a minute ago, set up a different way. We have a single leg takedown, okay? Let's see, and that's the answer to a common problem from there. So what positions have we hit? I'm not going to worry about open guard because any pass that somebody does, JoJo, you have a way to resist and escape, right? So if somebody does a Toriando pass, you can roll away or you can knee shield or do something, right? Those are all answers to common problems right there. Okay, let's look at lasso, right? So I throw the lasso in, right? So one of the common problems that somebody might do is as I'm throwing my lasso, he whips his hand around here. Okay, it's not a big problem at all because I can just move to his hip and start setting up a sweep here. Okay? So he'll be focused on breaking my grip. Right? I try to whip it in. He whips his hand to the outside before I get my grip in. That's fine. I'll just move my foot to the hip. Okay? The guy doesn't want me to lasso. Fine, I won't lasso. I'll just play a different game. And let's see. So we've hit De La Riva, we've hit single X, we've hit spider, we've hit lasso. Open guard was the 5th. That should be all of it. So just the remainder of the test is things that I'm well aware that JoJo knows because he's demonstrated it in other tests. Is punch block series and other striking defenses like haymaker defense and T position type stuff is what I'm expecting to see from him without being prompted. So the difference between this and the other tests he's taken isn't really material, but his ability to do it under pressure. So this time I want to burn him out a little bit, get him exhausted. That way it'll be easy for me to control him and kind of dominate him without having to actually hit him very hard. I will be hitting you a little harder than I think you've been hit before in this class. I'm going to try to pull back. If you want to bring a mouth guard, I suggest it. Again, I'm not going to try to make you bleed, but I do feel panicked a little bit, right? That's my goal is to stress you out and make you understand that I want you to be able to use this technique in a bad situation, right? I want you to understand what it's like to be completely physically overwhelmed and have to rely on pure technique. So we're going to burn you out. We'll do this part of the test, right? But once you pass that, I'm going to burn you out with some workouts, right? We're going to get you gassed out, tired. And then we're going to put on the gloves, and you're going to have to protect yourself for a good 5 minutes. And then we'll do some rolls, and I'm going to be putting up common cues, making mistakes on purpose, and I want to see if you take advantage of it. So after the hard part will come a nice, slow-paced, long 8-minute roll, right? In that 8-minute roll, I'm going to purposely do dumb things, and I want to see you be technical in how you react to those things, okay? I'll also be doing some basic things smart, and I want to see how you react to those things. And so the 8-minute roll will be nice and controlled, nice and slow, but when it comes to that 5-minute match when I have the boxing gloves on, I'm going to be mean. I'm going to try to bully you, and you're going to be stressed out, and I want you to prepare yourself mentally for that, okay? Because in real life, it'd be even way worse than that, okay? Are we good? Do we have any questions before we shut this down? Okay, I think we covered everything.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.